Hi, and welcome to this weekday word. One of the psalms appointed in the daily office today is Psalm 146, which in the course of the psalm says this in verse 3. Put not your trust in princes, nor in any child of man, for there is no help in them. Blessed is the one who has the God of Jacob for his help, whose hope is in the Lord his God, who made heaven and earth, the sea and all that is therein, who keeps his promise forever. I cannot help but hear some of the first words in Compline, the bedtime prayers of the daily office, where every day we are meant to pray as we go to sleep. My hope is in the name of the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. The psalm unpacks those words a little bit. Our hope, the psalm says, is not to be in princes nor in any son of man. Embedded in that, then, is the idea that our hope is not to be found in worldly powers, in worldly governments, in worldly wealth, in worldly power. Our hope instead is to be in the name of the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. And the psalm goes on to remind us that those that worldly powers tend to push aside as being worthless, or those who are easy to tread upon, are the very ones that God promises to care for. The psalm goes on to say that the Lord does right to those who suffer wrong. He feeds the hungry, sets prisoners free, gives sight to the blind, helps those who have fallen, and loves the righteous, cares for the strangers in the land, defends the fatherless and the widow. All those that the world seeks to treat poorly so many times are the very ones that God promises to care for. And so I think these words mean at least two things for us. Our help is in the name of the Lord. Our hope is in the name of the Lord. So where do we turn for hope and help? Do we turn to God, or do we turn to worldly things? Do we turn to governments, political parties, worldly wealth, worldly power? Or do we put our hope in the God who helps us? And secondly, I think these words mean for us that we too are meant to help those that God helps. We are meant to love the ones He loves. Our love of God is always meant to spill forth in love of neighbor. And so we must not neglect those that God cares for. We must extend God's love and care to them and fight for them. And so it's interesting that in the beginning of Compline, we say that our help, our hope is in the name of the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth, and then we immediately launch into confession, confessing where we have not put our hope in the God who helps us, where we have not loved God with all of our heart, soul, mind, and strength, and where we have not loved our neighbor as ourselves, the ones that God seeks to help. I pray, friends, this day that you find your hope not in worldly power, not in worldly things, but in God, trusting that He has promised to care for you, and then extending that hope to the world in acts of loving service. Be blessed this day, and I look forward to seeing you soon.